My play of the month. In this video, I'm going to break down my favorite pick for the month of December in the NFL, as well as give you an additional pick with plenty of analysis to set us up for a successful Sunday for Week 17 NFL action. And at the end of the video, I'm also going to give you a bonus Super Bowl future. If you've been enjoying these breakdowns, make sure to smash the like button and subscribe for future pick videos on this channel. And make sure to let me know what you like for NFL Sunday Week 17 action. I'll be sure to answer all the comments just like I always do. And again, let me know what you think of my play of the month. I cannot wait to get into it. But before all of this, a reminder that we are sponsored by BetMGM, and it is the perfect time to use promo code JustGridiron on the sportsbook born in Vegas for a first bet offer up to $1,500. Deposit at least $10, and if you lose your first wager on BetMGM after using code JustGridiron, you'll get it all back, up to $1,500 in bonus bets. However, gambling problem, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. Must be 21 years or older. Terms and conditions apply. We'll start with our pick in the 1 p.m. slate to get us ready for our play of the month. And I found this pick, really what led me to the selection, is this quote from Josh Allen. Let's look at the Bills versus the Jets. And here's the quote. As an offense, it's how much are we wanting to show. We want to go extreme and show everything in our arsenal, but there's a line that you got to toe. But at the end of the day, you just want to go 1-0 each week and find a way to win against these guys. Former Bills quarterback Ryan Fitzpatrick commented on Allen's quote by saying, "If this is the case, I would love to see Josh be intentional about throwing it to Amari Cooper every time it's one-on-one to continue to work on that in-game chemistry." It makes sense, right? That they would say this. They would come out, they have a vanilla offense right now because they won the division weeks ago and they now have their eyes set on the playoffs. I was watching that Bills versus the Patriots game and I was a little bit confused. Why is this offense so lackluster? Why doesn't it have any juice right now against a terrible Patriots defense? But now they get a Jets defense that has actually had continued success against the Bills, and we're not likely to see an explosive Bills offense that we're normally used to, right? While the Bills want to win this game, I think the main priority here, just stay healthy, right? The Bills did put up 24 points last week, but 7 of those points were from a Taron Johnson fumble recovery. This conservative Bills offense put up 324 yards and 17 points against a Patriots defense that ranks 30th in the NFL. The previous 4 weeks, this Patriots defense has allowed 29 points per game on average to the Rams, Dolphins, Colts, and Cardinals. I think both looking at Josh Allen's quote while also looking at the last game, we can infer that the Bills' offense is not going to be nearly as explosive as we're used to. Now, the Bills, they get a Jets defense that hasn't been the same unit that it's been in previous years, but they always show up for games against their division rival, especially in this spot. The Bills are averaging just 21.6 points per game over their last 5 matchups against the Jets, and this year they held the Bills to 23 points when, we saw the full complement of what the Bills can do on offense. But conversely, like on the other side, the Jets have never had any offensive success against the Bills. Over the last 5 matchups, they are averaging just 16 points per game. And now Rodgers and company has been struggling all season. So I think it would be kind of poetic to see them do the same thing in Buffalo, like they always do, right? In Buffalo, right, over their last 5 matchups, they're averaging 16 points per game. In the last 5 matchups in Buffalo, 11.6 points per game. Now, I will give the Jets credit. Their offense has been better lately, right? They put up 27 against Indy. They put up 21 against Seattle, but only 14 of that came on offense. And then had back-to-back nice showings against the Dolphins and the Jaguars with optimal field conditions, right? Indoors. It was a nice place to play. But it came crashing back down to earth when they had to play the Rams in the cold. And we should see another cold test for this Jets offense as there's projected to be 10 to 15 mile an hour winds. With rain, it's going to be one of those crummy atmospheres in Buffalo late in December. Perfect for an under. And those wet, windy conditions, I think, is going to lend itself more to a run-heavy approach by both offenses, which should definitely bleed this clock out. I assume that's already what the Bills want to do: dominate time of possessions, easy plays, get out of there with a win without injuring any of their key stars. The Jets really have nothing to play for besides their pride, so we should get an all-out effort from the defense, right? And this under also hits plenty of divisional late season outdoor under systems, which historically hit at a 60% clip, and especially when you factor in wind speeds exceeding 10 miles an hour. In general, when you get weather projections, such as this one in Buffalo, we're looking at nearly a 63% hit rate on the under with a sample of 430 games. Now, the total in Patriots Bills was 47.5. That stayed under. And at 46.5, I don't think the sportsbooks have adjusted enough considering how boring the offense the Bills are going to put out there, especially in these final few weeks. I think we have one more week before the books adjust for the Bills Patriots next game. So I took the under 46.5 at minus 110 to win 1 unit, playable down to 46. Now it's time for our play of the month, and I'm going to take you to the best game on the slate, in my opinion. The 11-4 Packers traveling to Minnesota to take on the 13-2 Vikings. Now, the Minnesota Vikings are on a fantastic 8-game winning streak, but I think the hotter team is the Packers. They have covered in 5 straight games, putting up at least 30 points in every single one of those games. And in that span, Jordan Love has not thrown an interception. Per Evan Abrams of Action Network, they are the first team in the Super Bowl era to accomplish that feat. While these two teams did play back in week 4 in Green Bay, the final score was 31-29 in favor of the Vikings. But the Packers actually outgained the Vikings in that game 465-374. The Vikings got out to an early lead in dominating fashion, but the Packers made adjustments at halftime and put up 22 points in the second half. Jordan Love threw for 4 touchdowns, but ultimately 4 turnovers cost Green Bay, and they also had 2 missed field goals, one from 37 yards, another from 49 yards. Head coach Matt LaFleur is the one you want to back when we're talking about a revenge angle here. LaFleur is 27-11 straight up, 25-13 when facing an opponent after losing to them in his previous matchup. You also want to back Matt LaFleur Packer teams in December. He's 20-3 straight up in the month of December. And now, while the Vikings are on a long 8-game win streak, which is definitely awesome, teams on an 8-game win streak don't often last. They don't often get to 9. Again, per Evan Abrams, teams off an 8+ game straight up win streak are 38, 60, and 2. 38.8% against the spread since 2010. But outside of all the trends, I truly believe the hotter team right now is the Green Bay Packers. Since the bye in week 10 for Green Bay, they're top 5 in EPA in both offense and defense. Only the Ravens can say the same. The Vikings have won 8 straight, and they've played really well during that span. But again, they still rank below the Packers both on offense and on defense. Now, the Vikings are a great team, right? Their defense has been awesome all year. Sam Darnold has been a top 10 quarterback. I think he even has a very sound argument to win the MVP. He's got incredible weapons on the outside. His offensive line has done a good job in protecting him. However, they are 8-1 in one-score games as they've been playing with their food. They've played close games against really bad teams this year, but they've done just enough to get into the win column. Just last week, I think, is a perfect example. The Seahawks had a 72% chance of winning that game with 4 minutes left. But Sam Darnold connected with Justin Jefferson on a 39-yard touchdown pass, and then Seahawks get the ball back, missed a field goal to tie it, and then on their next possession for Seattle, threw an interception, and the Vikings won. Now, we can't just directly compare teams' wins and losses and say, well, then this team is going to be much better. But we can say that the Packers completely dominated that Seahawks team. And this has just been a trend. They've been crushing solid teams, destroyed the 49ers by 28, beat the Dolphins by 13, and they did narrowly lose to the Lions in that game a couple of weeks ago, right? The Vikings have been wrecking havoc on opposing offenses with Brian Flores' elite blitz scheme, right? It's a heavy blitz scheme. We did fade the Vikings once this year with the LA Rams because of how good Stafford is against the blitz, a game in which the Rams won by 10 and they put up 30 points. I expect the same for Green Bay in this one. Per Warren Sharp, Jordan Love has been the most blitzed quarterback in the NFL since the Packers bye week. As you can see by the tweet on the screen, he's been superhuman against the blitz, ranking at the top of nearly every quarterback stat imaginable. And when we look at the full season stats, Vikings rank 2nd on defense, 11th on offense, compared to the Packers ranking 4th on defense and 8th on offense. Not only do I think that the Packers are the better team, I think they're the hotter team, and nobody can touch them outside of the Ravens since that bye week. And Jordan Love has been matching up so well against the blitz. It's all coming together. And when it's all coming together, I'm going to hit this a couple of different ways. I know how good the Packers offense has been. I know how well they match up against the heavy blitz scheme coming in from the Minnesota Vikings. So I took the team total over for the Green Bay Packers, especially being indoors. I love that as well. Over 23.5 to win 1 unit. And also knowing that LaFleur's track record in revenge games in December with how good the defense is playing as well, with how rare 9-game win streaks are, Play of the month, again, broken up. Packers ML to win 1.5 units and Packers team total over 23.5. And you probably know where I'm about to go for my Super Bowl future. The Packers are just getting hot at the perfect time. And I think a win here will solidify their case as one of the elite best teams in the NFL. But I don't think their Super Bowl price quite implies that yet. Remember, this team took the 49ers to the brink of elimination last year and has all the makings of another go at it in an NFC that I think is pretty wide open right now. Lions still have so many injuries on defense. Jalen Hurts is out this week with a concussion. Obviously, the Eagles are great, but there's just something about Nick Sirianni that I just don't trust. I see a lane here for the Packers, and we already have the Chiefs. We put 2.5 units on them at plus 440. So the Chiefs are my pick in the AFC. The Packers are my pick in the NFC, so I put a unit on them at 14-1 to win the Super Bowl. Hopefully they face each other, and we got a lot of profit in store. Hopefully you enjoyed this breakdown, my play of the month. I'm really excited for it. And if you are too, smash the like button, hit that subscribe button. And again, remember to turn on post notifications for my Monday Night Football video that will be out Sunday night. Really appreciate everybody listening. Let's go 2-0. Well, 3-0 on Sunday, week 17. Why not us?